the city, baby. And Austin, Texas, you wanna try, baby. I know you can, I know your heart.
Hi, I'm Shar. This is my channel. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to interview women who ride. We're going to see where it takes us. Where it's taking us today is into Vino. Into Vino is a small handcraft winery located in Lake Worth. It has wine made directly in-house, some really nice charcuterie boards, and live music on the weekends. Be sure to check them out. Okay. All right, so here we are with Dina. Dina, this is my channel. Welcome to my channel.
Thank you.
And we are here at Into Vino, which I don't know if any of you who know me knows I love this place. Dina, you love this place also? Just a little bit. One of the things we really like about this place, when you come to Into Vino, you must get you a jalapeno shot. One of these. They're awesome.
Candied jalapenos were like a sweet pickle, but with jalapeno instead of cucumber.
And on that note, cheers. Oh, so good.
Oh, just the perfect amount of sweet and spicy. And then you've got the nice little nugget at the end.
Nugget. She said nugget.
Balls.
Balls. So anyway, Dina, I kind of wanted to get together and start, you know, having conversations with women who also ride motorcycles and just get into the mind of, you know, what got you started riding a motorcycle, because it's not a lot of, you know, it's actually a lot of women, more than what you would think, are riding motorcycles today. But in years past, it's not been a woman thing to do. So what got you into riding?
Well, I seem to always be drawn to things that are not traditionally a field for women. Always been a tomboy at heart, I guess, you know, playing with Barbie dolls and Hot Wheels as a kid. Had a little bit of the best of both worlds, I suppose.
I love that.
But I've always kind of been a gearhead. I've always liked cars. Worked at Pep Boys for a long time, straight out of high school, and learned a lot about cars there. Motorcycles just interest me. I do have a little bit of an adrenaline yearning. I wouldn't say, you know, I'm an adrenaline junkie, but I do like to get the heart racing. And of course, you know, motorcycles do that for most of us. But I mean, I've been around bikes kind of indirectly. Never really had one at the house growing up, but my uncle always rode. And then met my husband, and his uncle and a lot of family members rode, and just, you know, we've always been the passenger. And my kids grew up, didn't, you know, need mommy as much, and I was like, it's time for me to get my own damn bike.
Well, I think that's one of the things where a lot of women do, like their kids are grown, maybe it's time for me to do me.
Start checking off those more hazardous bucket list items, like skydiving. Yes, please.
Yeah, so
I should add, in all fairness, that my husband got his current bike that he rides now about a year before I got mine, and that did kind of light more of a fire under my ass too, because this doesn't have to be PG, does it? I'm sorry, because you're out of luck with me. But yeah, so that kind of lit a fire under my ass. He was going out riding with, you know, his neighbor down the street that has a bike, and I was like, anyway,
yeah, I feel the need.
Right.
I feel the need.
And he couldn't say anything at that point, so
no.
Like, my turn.
Well, what was your first bike that you got?
The first bike that I bought, and I still have, and I still ride, is an 06 Harley Heritage Softail. black cherry Screaming Eagle package, because I never go little, always go big, in all sense of the word. But yeah, so I started searching for motorcycles in all the avenues. I went to dealers, I looked at new and used, I looked at Harleys, I looked at Harleys. To be honest, I really didn't try out it. Really look at any. Yeah, it's just because it's what I knew, what I was comfortable with. There's other great bike manufacturers out there, but Harley was just what I was after. I did the Motorcycle Trader, I did Craigslist and eBay Motors. I mean, just everything.
Do you still have? That's the same bike you still have. It's the very first bike.
My
still have.
Yes.
But you've added another one on, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I have since then added an 06 Fat Boy CVO that is also a Screaming Eagle package. It has the same exact engine as the year, make, and model almost.
What are you trying to tell us with this Screaming Eagle thing?
Well, it's just a bigger bore, a little bit more power.
Oh, okay, okay.
In the gutturals of what is it, Toolman Tim Taylor?
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't do it, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first bike I actually did find on Craigslist, and it was the original owner who had bought his from a local Harley dealer, and I liked it. It was pretty, and hindsight, it should not maybe have been my first bike, but we can talk about that later.
Well, speaking of that, what advice would you give a new rider?
Don't do me. Don't pull a Dina. Don't go big. Find a bike that you can easily sit flat-footed on, because when you go to maneuver forward and backwards, parking, whatever, that kind of thing, being flat-footed from a sitting position is very important. That way, when you are fully extended in your legs and then you're tippy-toed, if you start out tippy-toed, then you have no room, range of motion.
Right.
Also, smaller bikes that are lighter, easier to maneuver, easier to hold up until you really get that feel of that gravity,
muscle memory,
and the center of gravity and all that kind of stuff under your belt, and then just something that's not as intimidating.
Yeah. So, being a woman rider, are there any gender biases that you've come across in the time that you've been riding?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riding a motorcycle has been historically and stereotypically a male-dominated field, sport, activity, whatever you want to call it. I feel like people are starting to take lady bikers more seriously nowadays. Our numbers are increasing. We're getting more bold. Then with all of the all-female groups that are around, especially the ones that are making a name for themselves and out there and posting and attending events and wearing, their cuts, if you will, and
Chrome Divas,
giving back to the community.
Lolitas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just like we've been doing. I feel like in the last year of our chapter's creation, we have really made a name for ourselves and stuff. But as I said before, I have always been drawn to male-dominated fields.
Yeah.
I worked automotive industry straight out of high school until I left, and I was a manager at that point. Took all the certifications that I was really interested in. My husband and I own a carpentry business, so I'm around a lot of construction workers and that kind of industry. Even the and of course the biking, finance. I've worked in finance industry, and it's very male. There's still 50s, man. They still got the mindset of the 50s, man. It's like, honey, get me some coffee, and can you take notes, and calling me their assistant or their secretary instead of their associate. I mean, just those little things that just kind of rub you the wrong way, and you're just like, no, thank you. So I see that almost everywhere I go, and it really just, I don't know.
And it's kind of the way it's said. Maybe it's not so much the word, because if I say, "Hey, honey,"
the condescending tone and the look that's associating it. or accompanying it.
If you know the intention behind it, that really is what rubs you the wrong way, huh?
Which is really hard for us Southern gals because we have a tendency to call people hun and sweetie and sugar, and it's really just a term of endearment. But I sometimes catch myself saying that to people I don't know, wondering if I'm coming across as condescending, or they're like, don't call me honey. That kind of thing. So
it's a fine line.
It is a fine line. I was gonna say.
Jinx. It's that fine line though, where it's the intention. If you are just coming across, as just being endearing or whatever, but there are definitely sometimes when you're like, nah.
No. Right. So you go to a nice little country cafe and your waitress, would you like some more tea, sugar? And you're like, fine, that's really good. She's so sweet. You go to the office and a guy comes up and says, will you get me some tea, sugar? Be like, hell no.
I got you tea.
Right.
I got you tea.
Teetotal. But yeah, I see gender biases everywhere, even to this day, and it really amazes me sometimes, even though it probably shouldn't, how little we've come in the sense of a human race towards gender and their abilities. I mean, it's just
yeah.
Anyway, we won't go there.
That's another story. Okay, so have you run into any barriers, like stereotypes, preconceived notions?
There again, it depends on where I am, but most of my bike riding has been either with my husband, who pretty much sees me as an equal, and I love him for it, but with other lady bikers. So within that community, no. I have not had any stereotypical barriers or, people looking at me like, oh, did you really ride that here by yourself? Those kind of things. And so when I'm in that community and I'm with my new family, my new sisterhood, no, I don't feel those. I feel like we're all equals. Some of us are really new at riding. Some of us have been riding since, for the last 50 years and got, tons of wisdom to share. But I've felt welcomed on all levels, and
wonderful.
Yeah, so if I'm out there and I'm trying to fit in with the boys, I'm gonna get that. If I'm riding with the guys and they want to put me towards the back of the group because they don't trust my riding abilities or whatever, sure, I'm gonna get that until I earn my place. Right. But with the girls, with the ladies, I don't feel that. I mean, we get a little bit, but no. I'm just kidding. No, it's been great.
Yeah, I think that sometimes my husband doesn't quite understand. He actually helped me get my first adult bike. Now that I'm an adult and they're bigger, and he says I created a monster. Yeah, because and we do a lot of riding with other women, but it's because we get a lot of support that maybe we haven't felt before, and and especially with the Chrome Divas, that's one of their big things, is supporting other women, and where you might not have had that before. But what's been your greatest achievement in riding?
Just getting out there and riding by myself, anywhere by myself, whether it down the road to the store or on a across town or whatever. I remember the first time that I left my house by myself. Nobody with me. I was going up to meet with a group of lady riders I'd never met before. Found an event on Facebook, and they were meeting up in my town, place I knew very well, and I knew the roads very well, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I was so freaking scared. I was like so nervous. I was all in my head. I knew I was gonna drop my bike. I knew something bad was gonna happen, and there was gonna be nobody there to help me. But I made it to the meetup spot. Saw the other ladies, introduced myself, filled up my gas, got ready, and I felt my heartbeat going down just a little bit, my heart rate. And then we did a ride out to Boyd and around and came back. We were gone for maybe 3 hours, and that was the first time I had ever ridden by myself, and just leaving the driveway was such a huge accomplishment for me. I was so scared and thrilled at the same time. I'm still very clearly remember that feeling, and I hope I always do.
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of maybe ties into your biggest challenge. So what was your biggest challenge while writing?
That, and then just the self-doubts of my writing abilities, my skills. I still battle that to this day, and I feel like, if I were to go get on my bike right now, I would have that moment of throat, the heart in my throat, butterflies in the pit of my stomach, and just in some ways I welcome that feeling, because I feel like it keeps me more aware of other people, especially, they're being oblivious and stupid. And it keeps me respectful of the machine, its power and its limitations. But on the other, so I feel like, I'm going to be more cautious with that feeling. But on the other side, I'm like, get over it already.
Right. Well, in your opinion, so what's the most important characteristic, trait, behavior, skill to have when writing?
A few. Patience with yourself, patience with other people, especially on the road. Being observant, watching what everybody else is doing, because they're not watching for you. Even if they are, there's no guarantee they're going to see you. Listening to advice from seasoned writers. I know that's hard for some people. Just listening at all. But they're, like I said, we have people in some of our groups that are been writing for 30, 40, 50 years. And I've learned a lot from these people. Just gotta listen. And perseverance. Just keep getting on that bike. Just keep getting out there. Stuff's gonna happen. Just keep getting on there.
Yeah, don't give up.
Get those miles
Get back
under your
on that
belt.
dang horse.
Yeah, get on that get back on that iron horse. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so how would you describe the culture of the women motorcycle community?
Well, like I said before, very inclusive, very supporting, very encouraging, and so diverse. I mean, we are just a huge group of diverse people from all walks of life. We have teachers, we have lawyers, we have other type, professionals, stay-at-home moms, retired people, grandmas, new moms. I mean, we're just all over the place. We got 20-something-year-olds, we've got 70-something-year-olds. I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. As soon as you try to pigeonhole us, one of us will surprise you and break that pigeonholing.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like, we're very, very supportive of each other, and I think maybe in a sense the gender biases that do exist out there help bring us together and make us more cohesive.
It does. I've learned a lot just from, you go in thinking, I've been riding all my life. I rode as a kid. And then you still find you have things to learn.
Oh, yeah.
You learn so much from the other women. That's why I think it's important. I thank my husband for getting me back out there, for getting me going, and he's encouraged me and helped me a lot. But just being around all the other women is just exhilarating, and just
there's just a whole other feel to it.
It is, and I don't even know that I have words to explain it.
No, we try to break out the thesaurus, and we'll try, but it's more of a feeling than anything tangible.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a big question, and I know a lot of women out there have opinions about this. What advice would you give to people who make motorcycle clothing or accessories for women?
Oh, let me count the ways. Okay.
She's got a list.
I've got a list. Okay. So first of all, they need to understand we are not all Barbies. Okay. Like I said, we are a very diverse group. Different heights, different sizes, different shapes. We're women, right?
Yeah.
That just comes with the territory. We want shirts that don't ride up in the back when you're sitting on your bike.
Yeah.
We want pants that fit nice and look good on you, but they have a good range of motion and they can stand up to them thunder thighs that always wear them out. You ladies know what I'm talking about. Just clothes that fit right and are functional and look good. Is that too much to ask?
No, yeah. It's like, and the sizing. It's like, well, I normally wear a size medium, but in order to get it fit right, I got to get a 2X large.
I know.
You know, what's with that?
Because maybe more American-made clothing, I think, because a lot of the stuff is outsourced, where their community population is, in general, a lot smaller than we are. You know, so their sizing is way different.
Sizing is crazy. Or they want women, or my thought was they just want women to be sucked into the clothes to show stuff. And
no, the day of the corset is over. Thank you.
Not every woman wants to show it all, you know. And we do want to be relaxed and comfortable, and you know, it's not about showing off the tatas. We are not always.
I had to check. See, this one's okay. This one's not too bad. I like this shirt. I like the cut. I like the fit. I don't feel like it rides up in the back, and I don't feel like I have to watch where I bend over and, you know, show off my goods.
Right.
Front or back in that case, you know, bending over. But yeah. Right. But also something else. We don't all want purple or pink accessories. Come on now. Just because we're women doesn't mean we have to have those colors. Okay. So yes, I am wearing purple. But I also like black and red and other, you know, like deep blues. I mean, diversity.
We know we just in our group of women, we have so many different preferences and styles. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so last question. Is there anything that you would add that I forgot to ask?
Only that I look forward to our community of lady writers to continue to grow and strengthen. It's just an awesome feeling of belonging and getting out there and doing something that's, people look at you and you're like, man, you're crazy, or you're a badass, or whatever. So that, I guess there is a little bit of a cool point, you know, it's like not being stereotypical when people see you out there, especially in mass, a bunch of lady writers out there, and the looks that we get and the thumbs up, or sometimes we get the one finger salute. You know, that guy apparently wasn't having a good day. His girlfriend just, you know, did something really bad, and he hated all women at that point. I'm gonna, you know, just wash it off as that. But it's just an awesome community. I'm very glad that I found it, and I hope it continues to grow. I know I will do my part.
Thank you so much. You are doing your part right here, because this channel, we are going to do this series of interviewing other women motorcycle riders, and hopefully we learn more about each other and get the word out about women who ride motorcycles. So like and subscribe, and please grow my channel. Thanks.
Baby, I know you can, I know your heart, and you will figure out